West Coast ports are emptying out, Boeing jets are being rejected, and the once steady flow of Chinese goods into the US, it's grinding to a halt. As tariffs bite deeper, China's playing hardball, cutting exports, freezing deals, and shifting its trade alliances. Whether this is a smart strategic move or a dangerous standoff depends on your point of view. But one thing's certain, the ripple effects could hit your wallet sooner than you think.
Moving to thing number 3, we're talking China now on the opposite side. They've cut exports to the U.S. I was actually in Miami, Brickell area, and was there for 3 days, and I did not see one thing moving over in that port area of the city. So, yeah, I'm not sure that means anything, but could have something to do with this. Tariffs for the loss, now we're saying, depending on your point of view, Gary. Gary, thing number 3, China cuts back.
So for the people who are tuning in to this particular segment, thing number 3 for this week, in thing number 2, we talked about some of the benefits of tariffs with IBM agreeing to $150 billion of mainframe and quantum computing production here in the United States. And my point in all of that was to say to people, we think that these should be full, complicated arguments. The pro-tariff people should acknowledge the pain that's going to be caused and the more expensive goods that we'll have. The anti-tariff people should acknowledge the new production, better supply lines, and new jobs from that. So in an effort to be intellectually honest ourselves, we're going to talk about some of the downside of tariffs, which is what Rob introduced. As a result of our spat with China right now and much higher prices on Chinese goods, as a result of tariffs, there is an expected 35% decline coming at the port of LA. We've read reports that the port of Seattle is a ghost town right now due to a decline in shipments. So, you have all of these places where we're used to having a lot of people working, bringing in low-priced goods, and that has ground to a halt or at least slowed substantially. Rob is reporting he did not see a whole lot of action in Miami, which is not as big a port for the U.S. as the port of LA, but it's not nothing either. In addition to all of that, Beijing recently ordered airlines to stop any new Boeing jet orders, and they began rejecting delivery of orders already placed. Now, Boeing is a huge exporter. They've already adjusted to these market changes. They just delivered those planes to other waiting customers, so good for them. But, I think it's important to note that these developments where China is shipping less, they're raising their tariffs on U.S. goods, they're rejecting Boeing planes despite having contracts. I think that shows China's reluctance to work toward a trade deal and that they're maybe not operating in good faith. China's retaliation isn't just affecting the U.S., and as the world's largest exporter, their choice to seek new buyers has the ability to change the landscape of trade across the globe. And, one of the things that I think is not likely but is possible is a decoupling between the U.S. and China. It's not the most likely outcome right now, but it's something that is being discussed, and it may be something that we need to do at least partially.
Gary, with these tariffs, right, and obviously China's reaction to this, should consumers expect that they will start to have to pay more for these Chinese goods that actually are still coming to the States?
Yeah, I think that is something that, people should be prepared for. And a lot of retailers. So, one of the things we talked about in our first segment with the lower GDP is we had a lot of inventory stocking ahead of higher tariffed prices. Um, and so, the reports I've read say that most retailers have about 2 months of regularly priced inventory left. And so, future potential shortages and price hikes have American consumers worried. One thing I think is really interesting is it seems like most retailers are actually using a specific inventory model on this. So if they imported, like if you wanted to buy an item, and your retailer of choice imported that item before tariffs went in place, they'll sell it to you at the pre-tariff price. And then when the tariffs go into place, they're saying, well, we've got 2 months of regularly priced inventory left. After that, we'll have to start charging more. So what's really interesting to me is the retailers' prices are not necessarily following policy in order. They're following specific pieces of inventory. So basically, what I'm reading is depending on the item that you're looking at, you probably have about 2 months.
Understood, and we'll keep an eye out on that in terms of what prices we're seeing, what China's reactions will be. Still a lot to play out in this particular space, and we'll be keeping you up to date on everything as it does happen.